Karen Francis reporting for Yahoo. Today, it's all about relationships. Single man to my left, married man to my right. So, the first question for you is, why is it so hard to have a good relationship?
I think the biggest problem with having a good relationship is that a lot of times women will hold on to baggage from previous relationships with bad guys, and they'll revert to the same things, same habits they've come accustomed to with bad guys, with a good guy, and a lot of times that it doesn't work well. It will wind up pushing the good guy away. When a lot of times really a guy's looking for a woman to be loyal and loving and caring and supportive, and to do those things, it really puts a person, either sex, male or female, kind of makes you vulnerable, and you don't want to, naturally you're not going to want to be vulnerable, but at the end of the day, you have to be in order to try to make this relationship work, and you can't let anything from previous relationships get involved to ruin what's going on now. And I think a lot of times, the problem is that women will oftentimes take from bad relationships and bring the baggage over to a new one, and not have this new guy start off at ground zero.
Okay. Now, ladies, that's from a male perspective, and same thing from a woman's perspective. You could see men that have been, had relationships that didn't work out well, and they kind of brought that baggage. So the name of the game is leave the baggage behind and move forward.
Exactly.
Okay. From a married perspective, how do you keep a marriage successful and progressing in the right direction?
Well, to keep a marriage successful, what you have to understand is two things. You're creating a life together, okay? So when it starts, on the onset of a marriage, and meeting a person and a relationship, you explore that person, you explore yourself, and find the commonality. But when you get married, you don't lose yourself. Don't lose sight of that person, Karen. Continue to grow together. You're living a life as one, and it will essentially keep you happy, keep that person happy. Keep it new every day. You don't take that person for granted, and don't expect to be taken for granted. And you should be able to talk everything out, but that should start at the relationship period. In the marriage period, you should know how to communicate with each other. Communication is the key. Without communication, it doesn't matter how good you look, it doesn't matter how good the love life is, public affection, or even in the bedroom. It really matters on how you communicate with each other. And that's got to stay key. That's got to last from the start to the end. If it doesn't, marriage is over.
Okay. And I've heard men say before, I was in a conference a couple of months ago with single men, and one of the gentlemen said something about the difference between communication and conversation. Do you know the difference?
Well, I kind of think it can be separated only if the two individuals involved in the communication / conversation allowed to be separated. Because really it ties back to trust and vulnerability. If you're willing to trust the other individual with your vulnerability, you can be honest about everything you're saying, and you can make your conversation, a situation where it turns into a learning experience for the other person. They're learning more about you, and you have to as well be willing to learn about the other one. And you always have to be willing to grow. And I think a lot of times people, they put a cap on that, and they feel like I am where I am, and they can't change me. But a lot of times
come back, Ron. Don't get in the cold.
To grow, you always have to be able to grow, and you cannot be in a mind state of I'm beyond that.
Right.
Because we're in this together, and we got to make this happen. So in order to make it happen, we have to be willing to grow and learn and support each other through the process.
Right. Because conversation is, what did you do today? What did you do today? How was your day? Communication, as he was trying to say, is a little deeper than that. You're actually communicating with that person and learning more about who they are, what do they want to do, and what do they want to be in life. So from a married man's perspective, what would you tell single men of how to pursue that person to take that walk in life with?
think it starts with honesty. Honesty is the key. Honesty is the first thing. Second thing is not to look for images or labels when it comes to women. Okay, we are quick to label a woman, we're quick to label a man. But really, at the end of the day, you want somebody who's going to support you, who's going to be supportive. So you don't want to label a person. You want to be honest with yourself from the front end. If you want somebody who is a shapely, a sex pot, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your preference. Women need to understand that. Men need to understand this is my preference. This is what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, when it comes, like you said, communication, conversation, at the end of the day, it's a thin line in both those words. But can I communicate honestly with this person? Can I have a conversation honestly? Can I be who I am? If that honesty is not there at the onset, if that communication level is not there, if the bond is not created by the talent you have to relate to another person, there's no relationship ultimately. There's no marriage. There's no future, period.
Okay, I like that. That's good. Thank you guys so much for talking to me today. I'm Karen Francis. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.